The group behind Zohran Mamdani has insane plans for America. Among them, abolishing the family. Strap in, because this is about to get crazy. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Before I begin, YouTube has really been putting the screws on this channel. So I want to try something that worked on China Uncensored. Leave a comment below with the American flag emoji. To show YouTube's algorithm, we've got engagement. And while you're down there, be sure to subscribe because YouTube secretly unsubscribes people as well. So, last month, a panel was held in Chicago at a conference called Socialism 2025. Now, judging by the number of masks, you'd think this was some kind of Mortal Kombat fan meetup. But what they discussed was far more deadly than any Sub-Zero spine rip. I'm talking about socialism. For some background, this event was organized by Haymarket Books, a far-left nonprofit publisher whose name comes from the Haymarket Massacre, a violent confrontation in 1886 between Chicago police and anarchist labor activists that led to the deaths of at least 11 people, including 7 police officers. Radical! But not in the cool 90s kid way, more like the depressing Gilded Age sense of, oh God, we're really doing this again. Among the speakers and moderators were some prominent members of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. You may have heard of them. The DSA is the country's largest socialist organization. It has campaigned on a wide range of issues with varying levels of popularity, such as raising the minimum wage, free childcare, free college, abolishing the Electoral College, abolishing the Senate, reparations for slavery, abortion on demand, abolishing the police, abolishing prisons, seizing the means of production, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. To accomplish these somewhat lofty goals, the DSA has helped get its people into office. Some of the more prominent members include AOC, Cori Bush, and Rashida Tlaib. And of course, you have the group's newest project, New York mayoral candidate and card-carrying DSA member Zohran Mamdani. The DSA sees his candidacy as the key to seeing its goals realized. Here's New York City DSA member Daniel Golden.
With Zohran, we're in basically the best possible position to seize state power that we can be in because, you know, we're like this, right? DSA has regular meetings with him, let alone his team. His policy director is my friend. I've been working with his campaign manager for well over a year. You know, I have friends who are in his staff.
Good to know. So the Mamdani candidacy isn't just about getting free bus tickets in state-owned grocery stores. It's really about upending society as we know it. And what better way to do that than overturning the most basic building block, the family. I'm just going to give you a few choice clips.
The only real difference between marriage and prostitution is the price and the duration of the contract.
We can fight for family abolition, we can imagine family abolition because we have seen Black women do it, because we have seen these like indigenous communities do it.
But you know, to me it is the institution of marriage can only exist alongside the criminalization of sex workers.
There's a lot going on there. Let me just collect my thoughts. Okay, so according to these people, our society is capitalist, and the foundation of that society is the nuclear family. Families, they claim, are little miniature examples of capitalism. Dad is the boss, mom is an underpaid sex worker who is dependent on the boss, and kids are basically slaves. The family embodies the idea of private property and instills capitalist ideology in future generations. Therefore, the only way to overthrow capitalism is to overthrow the family itself. I know that's a lot to take in. It flies in the face of pretty much every world religion, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, or what have you. Even if you don't have a religion, calling your wife a glorified prostitute is probably a bad idea. Also, the DSA's whole spiel comes off as kind of racist. Remember what they said,
We can imagine family abolition because we have seen Black women do it.
Yeah, single motherhood has been really awesome for the Black community. My only suggestion here is that you all listen to Tupac's Dear Mama and get back to me. Anyway, we abolished the family. So now what? Who takes care of the kids? Well, in DSA fantasy land, it's the state. But since we haven't achieved full communism yet, I guess it'll have to be the DSA Child Watch program. How are the reviews for that, by the way?
So we do have Child Watch at all our general meetings. They're not like super prepared. They had someone drop off a 8-month-old for the first time. That was like the first time they had a baby, and they're like, oh, what? I would never, my daughter's 15 months old. I would never drop her off at Child Watch because I know that she would just be insane.
Oh, God. This is honestly the most depressing thing I've ever covered. We're supposed to hand over our babies to these people so that parents can go do communism? And yet, even if you are a communist, these policies are still insane. Early on, the Soviet Union introduced the Family Code, which legalized civil marriage, made divorce easy, and decriminalized abortion. They tried to replace families with collective childcare and communal kitchens. But that led to a crisis in juvenile crime and homelessness. And these orphans became known as the Besprizorniki, which was a national embarrassment. Joseph Stalin, ever the pragmatist, rolled back these policies, restricting divorce, banning abortion, and glorifying motherhood. The same thing happened in Mao's China. Collective childcare and communal kitchens were created to replace the family. But as the famine created by the Great Leap Forward got worse, the state had no choice but to sit back and let the family retake control. And let's not forget Cambodia. Under Pol Pot's regime, children were taken from their parents and put into communal dormitories in order to break selfish family bonds. After killing a quarter of Cambodia's population, the Khmer Rouge was overthrown by Vietnam, who then undid the regime's anti-family policies. What I'm saying is, these policies replacing the family have been tried, and they've never, ever worked. Every moderately successful communist regime that tried it threw these ideas in the garbage. Do you know how extreme you have to be for Stalin to be like, whoa, slow down there? But this is what the DSA is pushing for, and hopes to achieve it through figures like Mamdani. Now, some conservatives want Mamdani to win, if only to show off the absolute insanity of these policies.
And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah. I think every 20 years or so...
Wait.
We need every 20 years or so, we need a conspicuous, confined experiment with socialism so we can crack it up again.
But honestly, is it really worth it? Sure, you could hand over America's premier city to these maniacs just to prove a point. Maybe it's better that they're not given the opportunity. Maybe they shouldn't be given the power and the funding to try their radical ideas. Maybe DSA childcare shouldn't be the go-to for a city of 8.5 million people. But hey, that's just me. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Also, YouTube has a habit of demonetizing this channel and not telling people when new episodes come out. So stick it to Google by heading over to AmericaUncovered.tv. There, you'll always get updates on our recent episodes, access to exclusive deep dives, and the chance to talk with me and the team. That's AmericaUncovered.tv. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thank you for watching America Uncovered.